Yo, what up, gamers? It's your boy JJJacksfilms, and today we're watching TikToks that'll they're gonna
How we do snow effects.
How we do snow effects in movies and cinema and films. I do love good special effects here. You know, you can't green screen everything. Some of these have to be practical. Now, this comes from TikToker Tens and Laws, only on TikTok. Thank you for your submission. We're going to check out how to add snow. Mayhaps, you know what? This might be how Hallmark and Lifetime and all those other TV channels, how they make Los LA look like PA, Pennsylvania, East Coast. Maybe this is how they Christmasify and winterify their settings. But let's see. It looks like we're applying some sort of sticky white substance here to these evergreen trees.
In movies, it's like a hose.
It's amazing. It is like a hose. It's very hose-like, and I wonder how they are able to keep it unstuck. Because you'd have to imagine. Let's go back a few frames. You have to imagine that the substance is pretty thick, because it's actually coagulating on the trees. It's very interesting how the hose can keep it semi-liquid. Let's see where else this goes. Because look at the floor. Look at the ground. Please divert your attention to the ground here. That looks very snow-like from a distance. Especially if it's in the background of a scene of the two attractive leads having a conversation, and you see snow in the background. If it looks like that, I'm fooled as a spectator. I'm believing what I'm seeing. I'm like, oh boy, this must have been filmed in winter of New Jersey, when in reality it was probably on a backlot soundstage in sunny Los Angeles.
A hose. You just coat the
white sheets for base layer. Wait, white sheet, like I'm perplexed. Forgive me, viewers and gamers.
trees.
White sheets for base layer. Are we talking about like the actual ground here? Oh, I see. Oh, a literal. I'm so sorry. Forgive me again. There's an actual. Oh, you can't see the mouse, but there's an actual layer, a sheet, that I guess the snow builds upon. So you lay out the sheet and it doesn't look like much. Even the least eagle-eyed of us viewers can probably tell that, like, oh, it just looks like a paper sheet. You're not fooling anyone. But I'll bet it makes for a solid foundation upon which the fake snow falls.
It's like goopy white soap.
That's what I was saying. It's very goopy. How does it come out of the hose though? So, especially if it solidifies to a degree, right? That's what perplexes me. I'm curious about the chemistry behind it. I'm curious, but I'm not knowledgeable enough to. Even if you told me the chemistry, it'd probably go in one ear and out the other. Gamers. I didn't fail chemistry, but wasn't my strong suit. More of a math guy, but I digress.
That they spray everywhere.
Look at that. It looks like soap. And you can literally just, I don't know if peel is the right word, but you can just wick it off. This is phenomenal. So mayhaps it's not nearly as, my questions have been answered. It's not nearly as solid as it looks from a distance. If it's soap-like in its texture and consistency, then it's very easy for it to travel and traverse in a hose tube. See, there you go. Question answered.
And would you look at that? It looks just like snow.
It does. It's the magic. It's the magic of cinema, honestly. Just that holy weird magic. Don't mind me. But it really makes you think.
Okay, but I would hate to be the one to clean that up, though.
Well, mayhaps you don't have to. Because how do you clean it up? If it's soap-like in its texture, mayhaps all you need is a water hose. Maybe just swap out the hose, right? You unattach the snow hose and then reattach the water hose. And if you just wash everything down, I'm sure it comes off real nice and easy. But that's just a theory.
You told me you have to hose the fake snow
A game theory.
off. It'd be nice if we got a little rainstorm after shooting.
And look at that. Rinse the snow. Gamers, what did I say? Right? I'm no cinephile, but I did call this one, so I deserve, I believe, some applause and just some recognition of my eagle-eyed observations.
Washed away the soapy snow. Gonna have some squeaky clean trees after that.
That's fair. That's a good point. But I wonder if there are any water restrictions, right? I mean, here in sunny Los Angeles, it's always drought season. It's always drought season, and I feel like there's always just so many restrictions, water restrictions. You got to be careful about plants being watered, lawns being watered. There's water being watered. I'm no pool owner, but I'm sure there are restrictions there as well. Anyways, let's watch another TikTok.
Ever wondered how they changed arenas from hockey?
I'll read. Ever wonder how they change arenas from hockey to basketball? Now, I'm no sports nerd, so I don't think I'll plainly state no. I've never wondered this, but I'm sure the process, the time lapse from the few seconds here, give us a few more seconds. Yeah, this is a time lapse. Ooh, I do love a time lapse. So this is going to be very entertaining to see. I do wish there was some tilt shift cinematography. For those who don't know, Google tilt shift. It is a delight. A true cinematographer's delight. It makes people and cars and buildings look like toys, and it's purely just because of the perspective and a very narrow, shallow focus that works in strips. I would give this TikTok an A++ if it had that tilt shift photography, but shame on you, Tim from Toronto. You didn't apply that, so I'm going to get. You're skating by, pardon the pun, with a B+. But let's see how they change arenas from hockey to basketball.
We got a ton of people handling.
It looks like, it looks like Lego, right? Like they're sliding in Lego pieces. Everything fits, you know? It's like poetry. It rhymes. Forgive me, but no, it's like a locking mechanism or delocking mechanism. It's quite fascinating. Like almost magnetic strips or strips of Velcro even. Some kind of strips.
The tiles. Oh, hockey season is over. Time for basketball court.
Interesting. Oh, pardon me. I'm just going back a few frames. Did you guys notice the Christmas tree up yonder, or the holiday tree on the jumbotron? So I'm wondering. So it must be winter time, right? So people are already cold. I've been to a hockey game. I've been to a couple hockey games in my youth, and it was chilly. It was chilly. I needed the full jersey to keep me warm and insulated. But I wonder. I feel like basketball arenas, aren't that cold.
Court. They're like worker ants. I had no idea.
Yeah, from this perspective, they do look like worker ants. You know what I'm saying? It's the height of the camera, and I really, again, that tilt shift photography really would have made this TikTok not an A+, an S tier TikTok. But no, but yeah, the ants metaphor is noted and appreciated and reciprocated.
Idea that they just lay individual tiles over the hockey arena.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder like what the hockey arena itself, the foundation of this arena is made of that allows this type of cover to take place upon it, especially if it's sturdy enough to let Zambonis, the big things with the wheel, the steamroll wheel, right? I don't know what you call those gamers, but if it's strong enough, if these rinks are strong enough to withstand even those vehicles, then they gotta be pretty tough.
To make
Zamboni.
Basketball court. Okay, you really do learn something new every day.
Ain't that the case? And that's why TikTok is so gosh darn popular, pardon the French. It's because people are willing to share their wild and crazy professions, right? So like you wouldn't get to see that time lapse unless you were working on the inside. You know what I'm saying, gamers? And that's why TikTok is just running away as the #1 social media platform in the universe. Let's watch another TikTok, speaking of.
This is how they shot the Avatar. Almost everything in this movie.
I'm sorry. Are we about to figure out how they shot Avatar? For 12 years, that movie's origins have eluded me. And gamers, I'm actually proud to admit that I did see the re-release of Avatar 1 in 3D in theaters just a few weeks ago. And gamers, it holds up. Say what you will. Say what you will about the derivative storyline. Sure, it certainly isn't, the most unique plot. But gosh darn it, it holds up from a technical standpoint. I would love to see how they made those aliens blue and how they made them run and how they made Pandora and those floating mountains and floating waterfalls. Mr. Cameron, do tell, spill your secrets, and spill the tea, sis. Let's see how they avatared Avatar.
Movie was CGI. What do you mean they're not actually blue?
Think fast.
Phenomenal. Sigourney Weaver wearing a head-mounted cam, working opposite Sam Worthington, who is absolutely worthy of this role. I wonder if we're worthy to see Sam Worthington in 4 more Avatar films, because he was such a delight in the first one. I am just I'm shaking my giant blue tail in excitement and some trepidation at these next 4 films. So we have full mocap suits. I did know that they wore mocap suits. And you know what? They've been doing that before Avatar and since Avatar. That's not new. Even the head-mounted cameras, I feel like I've seen before. But look at the foliage surrounding the plants. They actually have physical plants betwixt and surrounding these wonderful legendary actors. I wonder if they're just reference points to show where they are in the 3D space. Let's find out.
Motor control's looking good.
Okay, so we have the green dots on the face. So the green dots, they must correspond with the computer. That's what the camera's for. So the camera has to pinpoint with super high accuracy. They have to pinpoint all of the muscles in the face, and that's how they translate in real time. In fact, I'm willing to bet that they could see some of these effects in real time as it happened on some kind of monitor. Mayhaps lower polygon count, than you'd see in the final cinema, but some kind of preview, I assume, because I've seen that now. In fact, it's even accessible to us gamers and streamers and YouTubers and influencers. We have that technology to kind of see in real time something if we're doing a 3D effect. But yes, the green dots, I thought they used stickers. I didn't know they actually used actual green dots. Makes you think.
Oh, he has to actually take a bite.
That's an interesting point too. Yeah, Sam is not miming a bite of fruit. Now, granted, they couldn't get it's a shame they couldn't get the real thing, the real blue fruit. I guess it doesn't exist, at least not in this universe. But it's very interesting that they had him eat an actual, not just fruit, a juicy fruit. So I guess mimic the sounds, the textures, the juice spilling on the lips to see like how the juice would spill on the blue lips down to his chinny chin chin. It's fascinating. Let's see how else they avatar.
That's a good mango. Man, they even changed the fruit.
Yeah, I noticed that too, says the Sniper Wolf. They changed the fruit. But just the fact that they even gave him a fruit. Actors mime, actors act. But I guess, I don't know. I'm shocked that they gave him anything. Normally, you see an actor with a cup and a mug, right? And that mug is 100% of the time empty. They ain't drinking nothing, right? You get picked up by the boom. Or, something would go haywire, or God forbid, a liquid would spill and spill on the soundstage. Cut, everything would be ruined. So I forgive my shock and my surprise, and my general confusion, really, how he's eating an actual fruit whilst wearing what looks to be very expensive headgear, camera gear, face muscle tracking gear. And look how veiny the avatar looks in the top screen there. Not quite, quite veinier than Sam Worthington. I don't know what to make of that. I just wanted to point out the vein. And by the way, gamers, are you as excited as I am for Avatar 2, The Way of Water? I've heard it's over 3 hours long. Literally. Yeah, that's a real fact. Sign me up. 2 tickets to paradise, please. I don't find it as funny as the Sniper Wolf finds it. I'm just more fascinated by it, right? Maybe that's the joke in itself. Maybe the joke is in itself that the actor is actually eating a fruit, not miming it, but truly eating. And it's a 1-to-1 ratio to what the blue alien avatar is doing. So you know what? That is funny. I take it back. That's worth laughing at.
I wonder how many bites out of this mango he took to get this shot right.
You know what? I'll stop you right there and tell you. I think several dozen. There are so many infamous stories in Hollyweird, as I like to call it, where actors have to eat or take a bite out of the same. I'll give you an example. In fact, in The Sopranos, who played Tony Soprano, that actor, James Gandolfini, I was stalling for time. I couldn't think of his actual name. My goodness. No, James Gandolfini. There's a famous scene in The Sopranos, or a famous behind-the-scenes story in The Sopranos, where it's a dinner scene or a dining scene, and he's eating something. He kept eating the entire meal, take after take, even when the director or whatever coordinator was behind the scenes that they told him, like, hey, James, you don't have to eat the whole gosh darn thing. But Mr. Gandolfini was such a pro, such a legend, that he did. He ate the whole thing. He didn't mime it. You're supposed to mime it or take a bite out of it, but he didn't do that. And that's why he will always be a star.
I cannot believe this movie is 90% editing. It just blows my mind.
Well, how else do you think they? Well, help me out here. How else do you think that happened, though? How else do you think they made the movie? 90% of the movie is the blue 9 feet tall people in the world that doesn't believe, or in the world that doesn't exist. It exists only in make believe. Pardon me. I was marrying two thoughts there. Well, anyways, that's fine. That's the magic of Hollywood. Let's find out what else we have. What other TikToks we have to react to?
Overgrown bush.
Oh my gosh. Bush trimming is talk about r/satisfying and r/satisfying gifts. I could react to and watch these all day. I don't need a massage appointment, or I don't even need a what do you call a spa treatment. I don't need a spa day. Just put me in front of a giant monitor of nothing but hedge trimming gifs and videos, and I'll feel very well rested. All right. But let's go back to the TikTok.
Take one of these bad boys, give it a little haircut. Wait, you telling me it's that easy? I could just take one of these.
Now, wait a minute. I don't think it's nearly as easy as it looks. There's just a sniper wolf. Remember, these are all trained professionals. We are merely spectators to these athletes of their crafts and sports. All right. These are the experts that rule the world with their skills, whether it be ice rink arena converting, or multi-billion-dollar Hollywood film editing making. And the world of hedge trimming, I don't think is too different from either of, those fields at all. I don't, because I think there's an artistry in all of the crafts I mentioned, and there's an artistry. This person is so gifted in what they do. They make it look easy, and that is where it's at.
These things are just give it a little haircut, looking like a brand new shrub.
Oh, is that all we get? I would have liked to have marveled a bit more at the hedge trimming, because it looked very spherical, super satisfying. It looked like a dome. It was wondrous. Anyways, what have we here?
That ain't food. That ain't dope. That's how they make Crocs.
That's how they make Crocs? I thought we were looking a little, taking a peek behind the scenes at how they make yoga mats. You know what I'm saying, gamers? But no, it is not yoga mats. It is Croc shoes, and I am flummoxed how that gets turned into a Croc shoe. Let's see where this goes. Color me intrigued, gamers. All right, let's see where this goes.
Start out as like a big.
Okay, so yeah, so you trim it off. That's why I thought it was going to be a yoga mat, right? Because come on, let's call a spade a spade. That clearly looks like that foamy material that a yoga mat would come out of.
Green blanket.
But then somehow, okay, this is where I'm completely flummoxed. How are these molds? Do we just press this material into these molds and then out pops a Croc shoe? Fascinating.
Then put it through a mold. Play-Doh shoes for real.
Honestly, it's as moldable as Play-Doh. Exquisite.
This is also how some Yeezys are made. Y'all selling a $1.
Well, probably. Probably not so much anymore. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. Hey, we're just having fun, gamers. You know. But leave your comments below if you believe in Crocs.
Flip-flop for over $300. It's because we have somebody hand.
Oh my gosh, and they're hand trimming and they're hand cutting the imperfections to make the Crocs up to Croc standards. Not to be confused with Croc the game. I'll bet a lot of you gamers out there are probably thinking you hear Croc and your ears perk up. No, we're not talking about the Croc game. We're talking about the Croc shoes.
And trim the edges. Oh, okay.
Oh, they're using those fancy curved scissors too. You know what I'm saying, gamers? With the curved blades. We don't have any of those in our home. We just have the boring straight kinds. You know, womp womp.
Worth it. Take my money.
I don't know if I pay $300 for Crocs though. Let's be real. I don't have Mr. Beast money lying around. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure I've ever spent $300 on shoes ever. Maybe my dress shoes for my wedding day, bazinga. But if I will go around town, I don't know if I'm gonna wear $300 shoes. You know what I'm saying? But let me know in the comments below what you would spend on a pair of Croc shoes. TikTok. First off, I don't know what this is, but the sound alone is oh so satisfying. That is music to mine ears. And this is from TikToker Craft Witch. Let's see if your talents are also witch-like.
Oh,
is it okay? It's got to be some kind of food. I was thinking like maybe it was like I don't think it's matcha balls or anything like the matcha tea. I don't think it's that because the balls are so hard. I don't think it's that. Maybe they're gum balls. Mayhaps they're gum balls. But what liquid are we pouring into here? That's where I'm flummoxed.
Bubblegum. Y'all are making some bubblegum cereal.
Bubblegum cereal. Now what in the world? That would be a terrible thing to feed your kids. You know what I'm saying? Gamers wouldn't be able to swallow too much. You know, hardly a cereal.
No? Blue milk?
Oh, blue milk all of Star Wars? Like that alien that Luke milked in that movie? That would be, you know, I've always been interested in what blue milk tastes and smells like, right? Ever since the first Star Wars movie came out. I'm not talking episode 1. I'm talking episode 4, but before they even called it episode 4, back in the day when it was just simply called Star Wars, right? Before all those pesky Roman numerals and subtitles popped up, all people were talking about was that blue milk. Made famous in the first Star Wars movie. And then, of course, made re-famous again in episode 8. Pardon me. Whew, almost made a terrible Star Wars faux pas there. No, episode 8. When Luke, you know, if you've seen if you know, he made that funny little face when he's milking the alien on that island. By the way, I've been to that island. That island actually exists. It's off the coast of Ireland, and you can, to this day, you can visit it. There's a pub there. You can actually drink a pint of Guinness from the exact same spout that Mark Hamill did when he visited and filmed that scene. So it's a fun thing. It's a good little tourist trap, but you know, you gotta have decent legs. You gotta be able to climb, because it gets windy up there. Maybe a casualty or two has happened. Anyways, let's talk about this blue milk.
Oh. All the color from the bubble gum has dissolved.
What is this though? What are we looking at? What are we? Why? Is this how we dye gumballs? They already looked colorful. No, it'd be dyeing the liquid, right? I'm flummoxed, gamers. I don't know what we're about to see here. Mayhaps I should just let it play out. Okay, so we're draining. Right. I believe we're draining the blue milk, for lack of a better term. Okay, it's coming out chunky. It doesn't look appetizing. Maybe it's not food. Maybe I was wrong to assume it was food, but I don't know what I'm looking at then. What purpose does the congealing do?
And then drain it. Ugh, that's kind of gross. Yeah, we're going to get rid of that, right?
I agree. This is Sniper Wolf. This is not the most pleasant thing I've ever laid my, peeping orbs on. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where this is going. It's a mystery. It's like a choose your own adventure. I don't know which page to turn to.
I only need the sauce. Add some more milk.
Okay. We're adding more ingredients or more of the same ingredients? I don't know where this is going. I am Sherlock Holmes without a magnifying glass. I'm going in blind.
Stir it around. Oh, I know what we're making. We're making ice cream. That's an ice cream maker.
Are you? Oh, is that an ice cream maker? See, I wouldn't know. I have not spent a lot of time around ice cream makers. I don't think I've ever spent any time around ice cream. Because honestly, this looks fluffier than ice cream. It almost looks inedible. Not to say it looks gross, but it just looks like it looks like that foam material that we saw a few TikToks ago, or so, where the Crocs come from. It doesn't look like ice cream, but I don't know. Mayhaps this TikTok will show this being eaten.
Oh, that looks delicious.
Well, I don't know if it looks delicious. It looks a bit like paint. I don't know. Hold on. There are a few frames in here. I'm gonna have to backtrack. Forgive me, gamers. I don't know. I don't know if it's delicious is the first word that comes to mind. That looks very paint-like. I don't know. You know what? I'll let you taste test. You tell me. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's see where this goes, though.
I cannot tell you how much I love bubblegum ice cream.
Oh, and now we're actually inserting. Okay, see, methinks this is Sniper Wolf peeked ahead here once again. All right, because before those, now we know that these colorful things, these orbs are gumballs. Before they even appeared on camera, so the Sniper Wolf was saying, "I love bubblegum ice cream." Yeah, there was no bubblegum to be seen. So I don't know. I think we have a cheater pumpkin eater on our hands. But that's fine. Hey, there are no rules. We're having fun. We're watching TikToks, and we're learning just so much about the universe in which we live.
Put some bubblegum in it.
But do you want to have ice cream though with bubblegum in it? Is that really something you want, gamers? Because guess what? You're not going to be able to swallow every single bite. And you have to do that thing. I've had, as a child, many lifetimes ago, it seems, I would partake in bubblegum ice cream. Sure. Who wouldn't? On a hot summer's day, even on a cool summer's day. Although we're running out of those. I don't mean to get on my soapbox. But when you eat the bubblegum pieces in the ice cream, right? So your mouth kind of like switches around. You try to swallow the ice cream, right? And somehow do a little tongue gymnastics to keep the gum out of your throat, right? Unless you choke and die, lol. But then you lift the bubble gum, and first off, it loses its flavor very quickly. Like this type of, well, I can't see now, but this type of bubble gum, speaking from experience, it loses its flavor so quickly. It's not the best bubble gum quality. It's not. But yeah, at least the ice cream's good. And it looks very, from a pure aesthetic standpoint, it's a vibe. Me likey. My eyes are happy when I look at that. Lovely colors and palettes and just complementary duos playing with each other. It's a lovely sight. Every frame of painting here in this TikTok. Now, putting it in my mouth, would I want to do that? That's another story.
Yeah.
And we label it bubblegum. Bubblegum ice cream for being, a bit more specific.
I had no idea that's how they make bubblegum ice cream. I thought you just put like some flavor syrup. No, step one, make a gumball soup.
Yeah. Honestly, who knew? Like the color is such a key component there. Because bubblegum ice cream does have a very specific flavor, does it not? It doesn't taste like vanilla. It tastes, I don't know. It just has, I don't even think it tastes like bubblegum. It has some very memorable taste, right? It does. It's just, so now we know how it's made. I would have liked to have seen how those gumballs were made, though. That's one step we kind of skipped. You know what I'm saying, gamers?
Delicious, but not so nutritious.
Yeah, that's very true, especially if you swallow that bubblegum, you don't want to do that. That's, that's a one-way street there.